Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in on one of the hallmark traits of narcissistic and psychopathic relationships, and that is typified by pathological envy. Pathological meaning not normal, disordered, unhealthy, and that which is causing disorder, disease, and a whole host of negative experiences in a relationship. So that is the meaning of the word pathological. So if you were to have a test with the doctor and they were to say, your blood work is coming up with some pathology, that would mean that something was off. Something was not right with your blood test. Something was, the numbers were not where they were supposed to be. There would be some pathology present. And of course, your treatment would be to go back to normal or homeostasis or normal range. And when we talk about pathological envy, let's really look at the understanding of what the word envy means. Envy, as defined, is a noun, and it's a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. It is also a desire to have a quality, a possession, or other desirable attribute that belongs to somebody else, and is deriving from the Latin word invidere, which means to regard maliciously and with grudging, and then that transposed to the Latin invidia, which became the Old French and envier, and then now the present day envy, which also means like a hostility or an enmity as well. So when we look at the word envy, we've always heard that this is one of these, 7 deadly sins. We should not covet thy neighbor's goods. We should not covet thy neighbor's possessions. This is, of course, one of the roots of greed as well, which is envy. But when we talk about the discontented or resentful longing of that is aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or their experience, realize that this is what is engendered or felt and lived within a narcissistic or psychopathic individual. For one, because of the character disorder of the narcissist, someone who has an extreme self-importance, a pathological self-importance, and then coupled with the lack of empathy towards others, this combination creates a coveting of others' possessions, their emotions, their experiences, and the need to kind of have all and then be above others. And especially in the psychopath, we also see this pathological envying of others' qualities. So their qualities, meaning their good nature, their good heart, their sort of innocence, their ability to love, their ability to have a rich emotion, their ability to truly connect with others. Because realize in the psychopath, they do not possess any conscience. There is a slowing of brain activity in the areas of the brain which relate to moral functioning and impulse control, as well as a hyper-aroused dopamine center. The brains of a psychopathic individual have 4 times more dopamine working in their brain than the usual person. So they're constantly on this impulse reward basis, and that is driving their life. And so as you can imagine, being driven without, driven for this reward without any sort of breaks with regards to morality. They don't operate by a sense of right or wrong. They operate very much without a conscience. So they feel that this gives them power over others, sets them apart from others, makes them better than others. They feel because of this lack of conscience, because of this lack of morality, they see where other people would stop themselves or not go there, or really sort of, be thinking differently, processing things differently, looking at events differently. And so they say, oh man, well, this is easy for me. I can just, plow through here and I can do X, Y, and Z and not feel guilty about it, not feel bad about it. I can, seek other relationships, affairs. I can, make lustful advances on this person at inopportune times. I don't feel morally bad about this. And, a viewer had asked, well, what am I referring to in a psychopathic individual when they make, lustful advances at inappropriate times? I'm talking about, grabbing your leg or grabbing your private parts in public places. I'm talking about, them sending you texts while you're in a business meeting that, might have pictures or, sexual arousing sort of statements to get you kind of riled up and in that, that sexual rush, the adrenaline rush. And then that's very inappropriate because, for business processing and certain, having a certain focus, it's the wrong time to be getting sexually aroused. While you're in a public setting, that's obviously there's laws against this for a reason because it's not appropriate behavior. They have a problem with affect, their emotions in specific situations, which are uncalled for, and then create an attention on them and abandoning of what is right for sake of them and them alone. This is very important to pay attention to this pathological envy, and especially when it's after you, your personal qualities, your innocence, your good-hearted nature, your desire to have companionship, excitement, take your life, your game to the next level. They're able to pick up on this. They're able to read people differently. They don't go into a setting and just think about, that I'm just one of the guys, I'm one of the gals. They really look at it like, what am I going to take from this relation, from this setting, and actually how am I able to distract, derail, and get attention off is right, good, or proper for someone else to have an experience, and they're going to get that distracted through their behaviors, through their actions, through statements that they make that are kind of like out of the blue, and then they're going to make these gestures so you can't focus. You can't be centered, contented, productive. And so, they're keeping, and then you get aroused by this distraction, but it's really a very insidious thing because to get distracted, you're getting distracted at the wrong time, crucial times when, you should be on top of it 100%. So to get distracted is equivalent to your annihilation or abandoning of your own values. And so, when we see this in family settings, especially when the parents are this way, they'll constantly try to sabotage their kids. Why would you want to do this when it's so counterintuitive that you would want to support your kids? Keep your kids so that they can, be independent, autonomous, self-dependent. So we very much see this sabotaging and this pathological envy of children, where, they're envious of them being a child. They're envious of them getting to have, a family. They're envious of them learning. They're envious of them having their own friends. They're envious of their innocence. And so these qualities really can be the target of pathological envy. And so they will want to take that away from them, take away their innocence, take away their contentment, take away their spontaneity, take away their feeling of industriousness, take away their sense of discovery, take away of their connection to learning and connecting in their own life, discovering their body, combing their own hair, making, instead they turn it around and they will make it a negative thing, what we call negative validation. What's wrong with you? You're so vain. When you're just, getting your clothes ready for school, making you do all sorts of age inappropriate activities, cleaning the house, raking, and you're only 5 or 6, getting you to do laundry for the family members, which is inappropriate when you should be focusing on yourself and your life. Doing yard work, when, and it's not to say these are just like general duties and things like that, but very age inappropriate, pushing kids into activities which are not age appropriate for them. And not letting them, live having their own childhood. In essence, the child has to then take care of the parents. Perhaps, do very uncomfortable things like give their parents a foot rub, or brush their parents' hair, or scratch their parents' back all the time. A kind of icky sort of, situation that the child does not feel comfortable, but yet the parent has inherent control over them. And so, being a parent, and then this child, of course, is emotionally mature enough to know what to do or how to protect themselves, so they have to give in. They're powerless over that. And, when we see that in, narcissistic and psychopathic relationships, they will definitely target you, and like you're sort of giving in the relationship, like that, you want to, create a life together, or a family together, or have a puppy together, all these different dreams that you have, they will know, in essence, that they can't fulfill these. So they will turn these around and knock these down on you, belittle you, string you along, with lies and things of that nature. But, they will know that ultimately they're going to discard you. And so they'll, come up with insidious ways to insult you, or, make you feel like you're not good enough, or you want too much, even though it would be a natural progression, of the relationship to go there. The narcissist or psychopath will make you feel like you're wrong or crazy, and blame shift situations on you, all the while they're trying to get their next supply in place. So be very careful of this pathological envy, especially when it relates to your qualities as a person, because the narcissist and psychopath do actually study others, and they study how their body language is, the words that they use, the emotional content. They pick up on these things which they themselves don't possess, but they then take from you so that they can incorporate them into their relationships. In essence, then they're going to turn things around on you and really start to make fun of you for enjoying a very natural relationship which you thought you had with them. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.